Looking through these readings for today, Isaiah, Psalm 71, and John, it's really something how they all seem to circle around similar ideas. This theme of being called, of service, but them also, well, doubt, big moments of doubt.
Absolutely. And purpose too, right? What's it all for? You see this powerful sense of mission given, but then this very human struggle alongside it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like these threads just weave through all three in different ways.
They really do. Isaiah gives you that grand prophetic scale. The psalm makes it intensely personal. And then John. Well, John throws you right into the middle of the human drama where it all plays out.
Let's start with Isaiah then. Chapter 49. It hits you straight away, doesn't it? Yahweh called me when I was in the womb.
Right from the beginning, before my birth, he had pronounced my name. There's this immediate sense of like preordained purpose. It's not an accident.
And the imagery. A mouth like a sharp sword, being made a polished arrow, hidden away in God's quiver. It's so vivid.
It really is. What does that say to you? A sword? An arrow?
Well, they're instruments, aren't they? But precise ones. Not blunt objects. They have a specific job to do, a specific target, maybe.
I think that's a great way to put it. Precision, impact. The prophetic word, perhaps, needing to be sharp to cut through, and being hidden away, maybe suggests protection or timing, held ready.
Yeah, held ready. But then, almost immediately after this powerful calling, boom, doubt sets in.
It's quite the shift, isn't it?
My toil has been futile. I have exhausted myself for nothing, to no purpose. I mean, that's incredibly raw. How does that fit with being called from the womb?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It shows that feeling called doesn't make you immune to discouragement or feeling like you failed, even. It's maybe part of the journey.
So the doubt doesn't cancel out the call.
Not necessarily. I think it humanizes the whole experience. You can have this profound sense of divine purpose and still hit these moments of thinking, what was the point? It resonates because, well, that's a very human feeling.
But it doesn't stay there in doubt. The mission seems to expand. It goes from focusing just on Jacob and Israel
To becoming a light to the nations. Yeah, suddenly the scope is massive. So that my salvation may reach the remotest parts of earth.
Right. So does that suggest the earlier doubt was maybe part of getting to this bigger understanding? Like maybe the initial focus felt too small or wasn't working, and that led to seeing the larger picture.
That's a fascinating thought. Perhaps the struggle, the feeling of futility, was necessary to break open the perspective, to see beyond the immediate task to the universal mission, the disappointment paving the way for something grander, maybe.
Okay, so that feeling of reliance, even through the doubt in Isaiah, it feels like it carries right into Psalm 71.
Oh, definitely. The psalm starts with that immediate plea. In you, Yahweh, I take refuge.
I shall never be put to shame. It's such a strong declaration of trust right from the get-go.
Absolute trust. Not just hoping, but taking refuge. Making God the sanctuary. And that phrase, never be put to shame, that's powerful conviction, isn't it? Trusting in God's faithfulness no matter what.
And the metaphors are similar too, that sense of solidity, sheltering rock fortress.
Very grounding images, things that provide safety, stability, defense.
Right.
They underline that this isn't just a fleeting comfort, it's steadfast, enduring strength in a world that feels shaky sometimes.
And just like Isaiah mentioned, being called from the womb, the psalmist says, on you I have relied since my birth.
Since my mother's womb, you have been my portion. Yeah, it reinforces that idea of a lifelong connection. This isn't a faith that just shows up when things get tough.
It's foundational, been there from the very start. What does my portion suggest to you? Like my inheritance?
Exactly. Or the essential source, the fundamental thing that sustains life and gives it meaning right from the beginning. It speaks to a really deep, ingrained bond.
And it's not just passive reliance either. The psalmist is active. God, you have taught me from boyhood, and I am still proclaiming your marvels.
Right. There's a sense of having received something teaching and now having a responsibility to share it, to bear witness.
So it's not just about personal safety or personal relationship. It's also about proclamation, a mission to speak out.
Seems like it. Learning leads to proclaiming. Purpose isn't just internal. It involves external action, sharing the marvels.
Okay, so taking that thread, when we get to the gospel, John 13, the feeling changes so much. It gets very intense, very personal.
Oh, definitely. We move from prophecy and Psalms to this incredibly tense scene,
Yeah.
Jesus at the Last Supper.
And he's deeply disturbed. That phrase really stands out. He knows someone will betray him, and it shakes him.
It really underscores the human reality of Jesus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just abstract knowledge, it's emotional pain. The betrayal comes from within the inner circle, and that hurts. It shows the personal cost involved.
And the disciples are just lost,
Yeah.
confused, looking at each other, wondering who it could possibly be. Peter gets John to ask Jesus.
You can feel the tension, can't you? The uncertainty. Their confusion really highlights how unthinkable this betrayal is to them. They just can't conceive of it.
It shows how little they understood about what was really going on, maybe.
Perhaps. Or just how hidden betrayal can be. How someone so close could harbor those intentions.
Then Jesus identifies Judas, that specific action with the dipped bread, and the text says, at that instant, Satan entered him. That's chilling.
It is. It adds another layer, doesn't it? It's not just Judas's choice, though it is his choice. But there's this sense of a larger, malevolent force at play, a cosmic struggle happening right there at the table.
Raises all sorts of questions about free will and influence here,
Absolutely. And then Jesus says to Judas, what you are going to do quickly.
which the others completely misunderstand. They think he's off to buy things or give money to the poor.
The irony is thick, isn't it?
Right.
They're thinking logistics, everyday concerns, while Jesus is setting in motion the events leading to the cross. It just shows that gap between human perception and, well, divine purpose.
And after Judas leaves, Jesus starts talking about glorification. Now has the Son of Man been glorified, and in him God has been glorified. How does betrayal lead to glory? It seems like the opposite.
Well, in John's perspective, glory isn't about power in the worldly sense. It's about the ultimate revelation of God's love, God's plan. So the path to that glory, strangely, goes through betrayal and suffering. The cross itself becomes the moment of glorification.
It's a completely different way of looking at glory.
It really is. Redefined through sacrifice.
Then he turns to the others, calls them little children, and says he's leaving and they can't come where he's going just yet.
That term, little children, it's so tender, isn't it? It shows that closeness, but also maybe their vulnerability now, their dependence on him. And telling them they can't follow, that must have been deeply unsettling for them.
You bet. And Peter, of course, Peter speaks up. Why can I not follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. So passionate, so certain.
Classic Peter, right? Full of fervent loyalty. His intention seems absolutely genuine.
But Jesus knows better. Will you lay down your life for me? Before the cock crows, you will have disowned me 3 times. Oof.
It's brutal, isn't it? A really sobering moment. It just lays bare that gap between what we intend to do, what we promise, even sincerely, and what we're actually capable of under pressure. Human frailty right there.
Yeah. Peter's love is real, but his strength, well, it has limits.
And Jesus sees that. It's a stark reminder for all of them, and maybe for us too.
So, pulling it all together, Isaiah's calling, facing doubt but finding a larger purpose, the psalmist's lifelong trust and need for refuge, and then Jesus, whose calling leads through betrayal to this redefined glory, well, Peter's commitment stumbles. It all connects.
It really does. That human element is impossible to miss in all three. The prophet's struggle, the psalmist's vulnerability, Peter's flawed devotion. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're about the messy reality of trying to live out a purpose, trying to be faithful.
It makes you think about what being called really means. It's clearly not always straightforward or easy. There are moments you feel futile, like Isaiah, moments you need refuge, like the psalmist, moments you fail, like Peter.
Exactly. But the suggestion, maybe, is that even within those struggles, those failures, there's still a larger story unfolding, a deeper purpose being worked out, even if we can't see it clearly at the time. Even in the darkness, like that supper scene, something else is happening. Glorification, even through betrayal.
A purpose that can encompass even our doubts and failures. That's quite a thought to sit with.